You know why God created Adam and Eve in this whole plan? So that he can be worshiped. He wasn't because he was lonely. God was never lonely because God was already a community before he created us. Look at Galatians 4:4. We start to see how Jesus is the fulfillment and the seed of Genesis 3. I want you to notice the language Paul uses in Galatians 4:4. He said, and when the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his son, born of what? This should call back to whom? Eve. Eve's name means woman, by the way. Born of Eve, or born of woman. Born under the law. Why? Why was Jesus born of a woman, born under the law, the Mosaic law? To redeem those who were under the law so that we might receive adoptions as sons. Here's one of the things that we have to realize. When I say that we're restoring back to Genesis 1-2, there's one big difference though. We're not going back to Genesis 1-2 with just Adam and Eve. We're not resetting. What is happening is that the difference between Genesis 1-2 and Revelation 21 and 22 is that, yes, we're going to return to this Eden-like earth where it's perfect. But now it's not just one man, one woman. It's what? People from every tribe, tongue, and nations will fill this new earth. You see, in the way that Jesus brought upon that picture of a multinational, multi-ethnic kingdom is that he had to go through the process of getting his heel bruised, namely his death. If Jesus never died on the cross, none of us, no ethnicity would be in the kingdom. You guys see that? So the good news is adoption is possible because of the death of Christ, according to what Galatians 4:4 says. And who can be adopted? It's not just Jewish Israelites. It's anybody from any ethnic group from all time can be a part of this kingdom if they trust in the head crusher who has crushed Satan's head. John 1:1 quotes back Genesis 1:1. Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In John 1:1, John says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And he's showing the connection that Christ is the Word in human flesh, and Christ was the one who was with God the Father from the very beginning, from the creation account. That's why Colossians 1 says, all things were created by him, or through him, and by him, and for him. Jesus is the creator of all things. He created everything for him. So why did he allow sin to enter? Why did he allow this whole process of restoration to happen? So that there will be a multitude of people from all the nations who will worship Jesus because he deserves that. You know why God created Adam and Eve in this whole plan? So that he can be worshiped. He wasn't because he was lonely. God was never lonely because God was already a community before he created us. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. They didn't need humans. Why did he create humans? So that humans could be and join in that eternal love that existed amongst the Trinity. Remember what Jesus said on the high priestly prayer in John 17:1-5? This is the night before his crucifixion. He prays to the Father saying this. When Jesus had spoken these words, he lifted up his eyes to heaven and said, Father, the hour has come. Glorify your Son, that the Son may glorify you, since you have given him authority over all flesh. And now, Father, glorify me in your own presence with the glory that I had with you before the world existed. And then later he talks about how he prays that his disciples will experience the love that exists between him and the Father. The whole reason why he created us is so that we could share in the divine love that is interplayed between the persons of the Trinity, which tells us that God doesn't need us. He never needed us. He never needed us for anything. But he allows us the opportunity to be in his kingdom by faith, by being adopted, so that we can partake in this perfect eternal love that's already existed for all time before. One of the things that annoys me sometimes, you can tell I get annoyed a lot. I think it's kind of thinking too much, right? But one of the things that annoys me is this idea that God needs you to do something for him. If you don't share your faith, how will people know? You don't remember what Jesus said? When he was going down on the donkey, the Pharisees were saying like, oh, they're stopping everyone to worship in Hosanna. He said, what? Even the rocks cry out to Jesus doesn't need you to share his glory. He's not less glorified if you obey him. Did you know that? He's not like, oh, Andrew, please do the right things today because I need my glory to be seen if you don't do it. We cannot add or take away from God's glory. We can reflect it or not reflect it, but the glory of God is always there from eternity past and will exist for all eternity. He doesn't need any one of us. He will get his glory. Rocks cry out to his glory. Whales will worship him. Lions will worship him. Every knee will bow to him, either voluntarily or by choice. Every knee will bow to Jesus. Either he's going to have to smash your knee or you will choose to do it. But at some point, every knee will bow. He doesn't need us. If you ever get the idea that somehow your arm has to be twisted to serve God, you don't know God in his glory then. Does it make sense? He doesn't need you to worship him. He doesn't need you to come on Sunday. He doesn't need your money. This is God we're talking about. This is the head crusher. He doesn't need a single one of us, but he invites you to be a part of this restoration plan if you so choose. This train is going with or without you. He's not stopping, waiting for you. You can join or you could just do whatever you want to do. You could keep working, chasing a career. You're just going to get disappointed because this earth is sin cursed and is horrible. You can idolize your marriage. You can get disappointed because your marriage is full of conflict and divorces because we live in a sin cursed world. You can say, oh, it's all about my kids. You'll have the pain of childbirth and the pain of raising your kids. Good luck with that. Anything you chase in this life instead of Jesus is going to fail you. Because that's the whole story of the Bible. The whole story of the Bible is not, how can I get the most from this life right now? Is that I want to be on the restoration plan program that God is doing. And I want to reflect his glory to all people. Because Aslan is returning. Narnia is going to get fixed. Everything will be perfect. And I want to be there to witness it all. That's the invitation.